Stop for a second and think about what you actually know about why humans believe in gods. Not what you were taught, not what you've been told, what you actually know about where that impulse comes from and why it never goes away. Because the answer isn't in any holy book. It's in your brain, and it's been there since before language existed. Here's where we start. You woke up this morning in a world that is, by every measurable standard, the safest, most comfortable, most medically advanced, most well-fed environment any human being has ever lived in. You have answers to questions that would have seemed like pure magic to every ancestor you've ever had. You know what lightning is. You know what disease is. You know what happens to a star when it dies. And yet, right now, somewhere between 3 and 4 billion people on this planet are praying to something, lighting candles for something, leaving offerings for something, making promises to something they cannot see, cannot touch, and cannot prove exists. That number hasn't gone down as human knowledge has gone up. Think about what that actually means. So let's go back. Way back, it is roughly 70,000 years ago. A small group of humans, maybe 30, maybe 50 people, are sitting around a fire somewhere in what is now East Africa. They are, by any modern definition, completely at the mercy of the world around them. A drought can kill them. A bad hunt can kill them. A disease they have no name for can move through their group in a week and leave half of them dead. And here is the thing about living like that. When everything can kill you, your brain develops a very specific problem. It starts seeing patterns everywhere. Not because the patterns are always real, but because the cost of missing a real pattern is death. Hear a sound in the bushes. Assume it's a predator. You're wrong. You wasted energy. Fine. Hear a sound in the bushes. Assume it's nothing. You're wrong. You're dead. Your brain learned very quickly which mistake it could afford to make. Scientists call this hyperactive agency detection. Your brain is so aggressively wired to find intention behind events, to ask who did this rather than what caused this, that it finds agents even when none exist. The wind moves the grass. Your ancient brain doesn't register that as weather. It registers that as something moving the grass, something with intention, something that chose to move it. That single cognitive quirk, that one misfiring pattern detector, is the most likely origin of every god, spirit, and supernatural force in human history. But here's where it gets interesting. Because hyperactive agency detection explains why early humans started seeing invisible forces everywhere. It doesn't explain why they started worshiping them. That's a different leap entirely. And it required something else. Around 70,000 years ago, right around the same period, something extraordinary happened to the human brain. Scientists call it the cognitive revolution. Language became complex enough to communicate abstract ideas. And one of the first abstract ideas humans ever communicated was this. I don't know why that happened. But something does, and once you can say that, once you can name the invisible force behind the thunder or the drought or the disease, you can do something even more powerful. You can try to negotiate with it. Think about what that actually means for a group of 50 people sitting in the dark with no medicine, no weather forecast, and no explanation for why 7 of their people died last winter and none the winter before. The ability to say something caused this and something can be appeased is not weakness. It is the most rational response available to a brain with the information it had. It gave terrified people something no amount of raw intelligence could give them on its own. It gave them a story. And humans without stories don't survive. Here's something nobody talks about. The oldest confirmed religious site ever found isn't a temple. It isn't a pyramid. It isn't a cathedral. It's a cave. Bruniquel Cave in southern France, 336 meters underground. And inside it, archaeologists found something that stopped them completely. A ring of broken stalagmites, arranged deliberately, burned intentionally, dated to 176,000 years ago. Not 10,000, not 50,000, 176,000 years ago. That predates modern human anatomy. The beings who built that ring weren't fully us yet, and they were already doing something in the dark that had no practical survival value. No food in there, no warmth, no shelter. They went 300 meters underground, broke things deliberately, burned them, and left. If that isn't ritual, if that isn't the oldest evidence of humans reaching towards something they couldn't name, nobody knows what it is. So, why didn't it stop? Here's the part that takes most people by surprise. As human knowledge expanded, as we named the lightning and mapped the stars and decoded the genome, the prediction was always that religious belief would fade. The smarter we got, the less we'd need it. That didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen tells you something profound about what belief is actually doing inside the human brain. Research consistently shows that religious and spiritual practice, regardless of the specific belief, reduces cortisol levels, strengthens immune function, extends measurable lifespan, and dramatically reduces rates of depression and anxiety. It builds social cohesion. It provides narrative frameworks for grief, suffering, and mortality that purely rational explanations have consistently failed to replace. Your brain was not built for a world without meaning. It was built for a world where meaning was survival. You got up this morning and checked your phone before you'd fully opened your eyes. You ate food you didn't grow, drank water you didn't find, and traveled distances in minutes that would have taken your ancestors weeks. You have access to the sum total of human knowledge in your pocket. And somewhere on that same phone, right now, someone you know posted a prayer, lit a virtual candle, asked something invisible to protect someone they love. 30,000 years ago, a human crawled into a cave and reached towards something in the dark they couldn't name. Today, 7 billion people are still reaching. The cave just got bigger,